Infernoids banish their monsters from hand and grave to special themselves to field. Up first, 3 Decatron. If summoned, can send an Infernoid from deck to grave. It increases its level by that monster and gains its effects. 2 Pirmais. Most of the Infernoids contribute a monster to banish a card in an opponent's grave during their turn, and the low-level ones can banish an Infernoid from hand or grave to special from hand when the total levels are 8 or lower. This can also shuffle a set card on field into deck. 1 Antra can target an opponent's face-up card and return it to hand. 2 Harmadik can destroy a monster on field. 2 Patrulea can destroy a spell or trap on field. 1 Piaty, the high-level Infernoids banish 2 Infernoids to special from hand or grave when levels are 8 or lower, and when this does damage you can have opponents send a card from their hand to grave. 2 Sjette, when this declares an attack, the opponent banishes 1 from their extra deck. 1 Seitsemas, if this attacks opponent's monster at the end of the battle phase, you can banish 1 card on the field. 1 Attondel, when this card destroys a monster by battle, you can make a second attack with it. 2 Devyaty, banishes 3 Infernoids to summon when the levels are 8 or lower, and if summoned, you can destroy all spells and traps on field and contribute a monster to negate a monster effect. 2 Onuncu banishes 3 Infernoids when levels are 8 or lower to summon, and if summoned you can destroy all other monsters on field and contribute a monster to negate a spell or trap. 1 Dogmatika Maximus can banish an extra deck monster from grave to summon and can make both players send 2 monsters from extra deck to grave. 3 Nadir Servant sends a monster from extra deck to grave to add a Dogmatika monster with attack less than or equal to the monster sent. 1 Monster Gate, tributes a monster and excavate, and special the first monster that can be normal summoned or set and send the rest to grave. 1 1-for-1, sends a monster from hand to grave to special level 1 from deck. 1 Reasoning, the opponent declares a level and you excavate until you get to the monster that can be normal summoned, special it if it wasn't the level declared, and then send the rest to the grave. 1 Instant Fusion, pays 1,000 to special level 5 or lower fusion from the extra. 3 Void Vanishment, main thing is discard 1 to add a void spell or trap but are locked in Infernoids for the turn. 3 Void Imagination, you can send this to grave to fusion an Infernoid, and if opponent controls an extra deck monster and you don't, you can use up to 6 Infernoids in deck. 3 Void Reignition, can reveal an Infernoid monster or void spell or trap, discard your hand and draw the same number. Also, if you control only fiends or no monsters, you can banish this from grave to return up to 11 Infernoids from banish to grave, but not the turn this was sent to grave. 3 Void Seer, can target an Infernoid and make it unaffected by opponent's cards and can be banished from grave to protect an Infernoid from destruction by a card effect. And 1 Void Feast, sends a void spell or trap from hand or field to grave to special up to 3 Infernoids from deck whose total levels equal 8. For the extra, 2 Infernoid Evil, if fusion summoned you can banish an Infernoid from grave and send Infernoid monsters with different names to grave from deck up to the level of the monster banished. Also, if sent to grave, you can add a void spell or trap from deck. 2 Infernoid Tierra, gains some effects for the more materials used. The Dogmatika targets are Garura to draw a card, Entis destroys a card on field, and a Chimera fusion, which can be banished from grave to special a fiend from grave during the opponent's turn. 1 Infernoid Flood, contribute a monster to negate and banish a special summon. 1 Anima, links off the fusion. 1 Secure Gardena, links off a Cyber's link. 1 Proxy F Magician, confusion summon. 1 Masquerena, quick effect link summon in main phase. 1 Nightmare Unicorn and a Phoenix, discards a card to remove a card on field. And 1 Access Code, which can destroy cards on field by banishing link monsters. And that's the deck at about $35. It is nice, it can set up a couple of negates pretty easily through Void Feast.